Welcome to Americana Archives. Today's headline is Daniel Boone. The subheadline says, Pioneer, Explorer, Hunter, Indian Fighter, Typical American Frontiersman. Of those who have builded empires and borne forward the wave of civilization, history records no greater man, no truer hero, within his sphere, than unostentatious Daniel Boone. To appreciate the merit of his enterprise, one should keep in view the difficulties he encountered as he led his companions to win from savage resistance a great and rich region. Daniel Boone himself felt that he was an instrument in the hands of Providence to settle the wilderness. Daniel Boone tells the story of the old Cherokee Indian chief Aconostoto, who when he signed the title for the transfer to Colonel Henderson of a grant of land, about 2/3 the present area of Kentucky, said, "Brother, we have given you a fine land, but I believe you will have much trouble in settling it." Then said Daniel Boone, "My footsteps have been marked with blood. I lost 2 sons and a brother, and therefore I can subscribe to its original meaning." Not only was Daniel Boone ambassador for Colonel Henderson to the Indians to negotiate the purchase of land, but after that had been settled, Colonel Henderson also commissioned him to make the trace to Kentucky for travel of man and pack horses from Holston River near Watauga, Tennessee, to the mouth of Otter Creek on the Kentucky River, which was afterward the site of the first fortified fort in Kentucky, and named Boonesboro. 30 men, with Daniel Boone as leader, including Squire Boone, Colonel Richard Calloway, John Kennedy, and others, completed the work of making Boone's Trace April 1st, 1775. With axe and tomahawk, the historic path through the wilderness was carved, and Daniel Boone's reward was the realization of his dream and ambition, the naming of the first camp built in Kentucky for him, Boonesboro, thus preserving in a name the intrepid spirit of the man who did more than any other to establish the posts of civilization beyond the mountains. His fame as a scout reached Governor Dunmore of Virginia, who when he learned of the anticipated massacre of the whites by the great Shawnee chief Cornstalk, sent Daniel Boone to scour the wilderness and warn and recall all hunters and surveyors, among the latter of whom was George Washington. With his trusty rifle and hunting knife and matchless skill as the guarantee of his life, he undertook the task and accomplished it with the same measure of success as he had done before. Daniel Boone was a Pennsylvanian by birth. He was born in Bucks County, February 11, 1735. He was a North Carolinian by accident. He was too young to protest when his father moved to the Yadkin River Valley to make his home. He was a Kentuckian by choice and conquest. It was he who blazed the trail across the mountains, into the wilderness, and established the Kentucky home. Lastly, he was a Missourian by necessity. By a defective title, he lost all his land and was forced to move to Missouri, where he died September 26, 1820. He lies buried in the state of his choice, Kentucky, by the side of his wife Rebecca, in the cemetery at Frankfort, Kentucky, on the heights overlooking the river, on whose shore Rebecca Bryan Boone was the first white woman to stand, the harbinger of the Kentucky home. Daniel Boone's learning was scant, but it was acquired in the school of experience. He learned his multiplication from the side of a strong wooden paddle, which did 2 kinds of service in school. His spelling was learned from a hymn book, which evidently did not discuss the killing of bears, as is witnessed by the record Daniel Boone left of his orthographic skill, carved on a beech tree standing in sight and east of the present stage road leading from Jonesboro to Brownsville, Tennessee. D. Boone killed a bear on tree in the year 1760. This carving may not indicate great education of the head, but his heart was full of the culture of the nobleness of nature, unspoiled by vanities. With this nobility and sturdiness of character, he carved himself an enviable place in history. This story came from the great state of Ohio, being reported in the Cincinnati Commercial Tribune of March 14, 1920. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.